Scott with bnetTV. We are here at the Small Cells Global Congress in Berlin for 2013. I'm speaking with senior telecoms analyst Julian Bright. How are you today?
I'm very well, thanks.
Excellent. It's good to speak with you again. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's good to catch up again.
Let's talk about small cells, and let's talk about where they came from last year and what we're looking at as a network, as being part of the network topology of an operator.
Yeah, I think this has been an evolving discussion around small cells. I mean, we started off a few years back talking about consumer femto cells, about the home, about how small cells would be used to extend operator coverage within the home environment. The discussion has moved on. I think we're very much in the public domain now and the enterprise area, and the discussions this week will focus very much around those two areas of deployment for small cells, and whether operators can effectively utilize small cells within the public network space to complement the macro networks that they already have out there, and also whether there's an opportunity for them within the enterprise to extend small cell coverage through working with enterprises, with real estate owners to sort of take the small cell concept into the business and really develop an opportunity there.
How has that deployment worked out compared to where we were last year?
Well, I think we're seeing a number of deployments. I know in North America small cells have been utilized quite widely. I think in Europe we're a little far behind the curve, perhaps, or further behind the curve in terms of deployments. We're seeing something of an evolution, I think, in operator thinking in terms of how they use this technology. Certainly in Europe, operators are a little more cautious. I think they're looking at perhaps using small cells in a more controlled way, in a more measured way to target areas where the capacity is required, to try and really use them more effectively, rather than simply blanketing an area with small cell coverage, regardless of whether or not the demand exists.
So last year we had also, at this particular conference and throughout the year, had talked about packaging Wi-Fi and small cells together. This conference has been separated on its own now because it's growing, but we are seeing some of that in North America. We're seeing some independence as well. Do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, I think Wi-Fi is very much here to stay. I mean, there was a time when we were looking at Wi-Fi perhaps more as an intermediate technology. I think increasingly it's regarded as an integral part of the small cell picture, the bigger picture. I mean, we've heard from Huawei this morning. They feel that small cells are an essential element within the Wi-Fi is an essential element within the small cell picture. And I think operators are looking at ways that they can integrate Wi-Fi within the sort of heterogeneous environment. There are initiatives underway to try and bring Wi-Fi more into the carrier environment, to bring it under the control or the management of 3G and 4G networks, so that you can integrate it more fully into the broader small cell picture. So I think Wi-Fi is here to stay, and I think it's going to be very much a part of that picture.
Okay, what are some of the challenges that still exist within the market space for the small cell arena?
Well, we had a quick poll this morning of the delegates, and surprisingly, integrating the radio part didn't seem to be an issue for a lot of the audience, but the backhaul part very much was a concern. So I think we still have a lot of issues with backhaul. What's evolving is a very mixed environment in terms of backhaul. You have fiber, you have wireless, you have a mix of technologies, and I think with the increasing deployment of small cells, you'll find the backhaul part will become increasingly complex, and managing the environment so that you have a uniform, if you like, capacity to deliver quality and to deliver a good user experience over a mixed environment is really something that the backhaul part is essential to. So backhaul, yeah, a big issue. The radio part, I'm not fully convinced that this is resolved. There are still a lot of issues there. I think perhaps our audience were just a little bit cautious about that, but I think there are a lot of issues there too.
It'll be quite enjoyable to have the same conversation next year to see how we have caught up, Julian. It's always a pleasure to speak with somebody from Informa as well as yourself.
That's great. Well, thanks very much. Pleasure talking to you.
I'm speaking with Telecoms Informa Senior Analyst Julian Bright here at the Small Cells Global Congress in Berlin for 2013. I'm Tony Sklar with bnetTV.